Guys, it's Aaron from Mobile Reviews A.ca, and today I'm going to do a review of the Fitbit Blaze. This is one of Fitbit's newer wearables, and they say it is as stylish as it is smart. Now, stylish, yeah, I can kind of agree. Smart, well, I'm going to let you guys decide whether this is actually a revolutionary smartwatch, as they've put it. There is one feature on this that actually worked very well for me and has caused me not to ridicule it completely, and I'll elaborate on that in a bit. I've been using this device for over 3 weeks now, and I do have to say I like it better than the Fitbit Surge. But in the grand scheme of Fitbit's products, I do believe that the Blaze is essentially a Charge HR with a touch screen. Now, based on my time with the Fitbit Blaze, I've given it a score of 4 A's out of 5, which is higher than the Surge, which scored at 3.7, but not as well as the Apple Watch and the Microsoft Band 2. I personally think that if you're looking for a fitness device and you're a weightlifter, this might not be the product for you. If you love running and doing endurance exercises, then the Fitbit Blaze is going to be one of the better choices. If you want to see how I've rated each product that I've reviewed, check out the comparison tool on my website. Links are in the I or the description section below.
Real usage, real reviews. Mobile Reviews A.ca.
At Mobile Reviews A.ca, we base everything we do on actual usage, and by we, I mean I, because I'm the only person who actually does this channel anymore. So when we get products to review, we actually bought this device outright. We spend a lot of time with it. We sleep with it, we eat with it, we go to the bathroom with it, and most importantly, we go and work out with it. And because we're awesome, we'll do comparisons of this product against other products. So right now, I've got a Fitbit Surge on one hand, a Fitbit Blaze on the other hand. I'm wearing 2 watches. This is not a good look. There is a good amount of marketing fluff that Fitbit has on their site, so I'll be kind of poking fun at a few things that I found were kind of odd. This is going to be a long review, and it's going to be broken down into 3 parts: design, fitness, and everyday use. In terms of the design, the Blaze is quite light and doesn't get in the way as much as the Surge and Charge HR does, but doesn't come close to the sleekness of the Apple Watch. The face of the Blaze doesn't have an ounce of rubber on it, so you're not going to get your arm caught in a shirt like you would with a Surge. I've got the classic band on my Fitbit Blaze, and there were options to get fancier leather and metal bands. I do like this style aspect of the Blaze, as pairing the Fitbit Surge with a suit was similar to wearing flip-flops with a suit and keeping your zipper undone on purpose. Charging the unit is a little different, as you have to remove the central core and fit it inside a cradle. I was a little surprised at how this was designed, but it definitely offers a lot of flexibility when swapping out bands. I do fully expect to see a necklace attachment or even the ability to strap it to your chest, but probably not, because that kind of goes against Fitbit's entire mentality that you don't need a chest strap, but in reality you kind of do, if you want your heart rate to be tracked properly. The frame that the Blaze sits in is made from metal and went unscathed when I accidentally mashed the Blaze into the wall in my house. The Blaze has a 5-day battery, which is 2 days short of Surge's 7, but for my usage period, it comes close to reaching the 5 days, even with a couple of workouts baked in between those days and sleep tracking during the nights. The Blaze has 3 buttons, but unlike the Surge, you're not overly reliant on them. The only button I really used was the one on the left side, and you have to use that button to go back in the menu system. Touchscreen is quite responsive, which is something I can't say with the Surge, and the screen is easy to read in all light conditions. I will add that you will occasionally interact with the touchscreen during a workout, so you may end up pausing a workout, which is kind of not great. The only other gripe that I have about the screen is it does turn off. So when it's down by your side or there's no activity, it'll just kind of go to sleep. And that's a problem when you're working out, because, well, if you're stuck to a fitness regime where you only have a minute to rest between sets, having to deal with the screen that turns off is kind of a nuisance. For example, doing a plank with this thing, it turns off, so you kind of have no idea how long the minute is, or is your minute up, and usually it's not, because it's like 13 seconds in the plank and your abs are screaming. You don't have that problem with the Fitbit Surge. The screen is always on, so you always know exactly what time, or you always know what the timer is. The most action that you'll get on the screen of the Blaze will occur when you reach your step goal, where the Blaze just explodes in a blazing array of colors on the screen. I personally think that with the blocky animation, Fitbit should have included some sort of 8-bit celebratory music during this visual masquerade of hitting 10,000 steps. Now, when it comes to fitness, the Blaze isn't any better than the Charge HR or the Surge. In fact, the same complaints I have for those devices I have for the Blaze, as Fitbit recommends you to put the device in a really weird place during a workout, 2 finger lengths above the wrist bone, which is easily accomplished. It'll stay there if you're running, but doing just 1 push-up will put the device out of optimum placement. I'm also not sold on pure pulse heart rate tracking, because it really doesn't accurately track my heart rate for most of the fitness activities I do. For example, finishing set 7 of 10, my heart rate is approximately 140 based on my manual counting. The Band 2 said it was about mid 130s, which is acceptable. And the Blaze said it was 108, and it slowly climbed up to about 120 before I had to go do my set again. Basically, this means the Fitbit Blaze is undercutting all my workouts. So during that entire time, the Fitbit Blaze thought I was just walking briskly instead of lifting weights, which is very frustrating because that to me is the only job it has, and it doesn't do the job well. That is why I say this device isn't good for a weightlifter or a cross trainer. A chest strap or a life beam hat might be better if you want something to continue to track your heart rate, or if you really want something on your wrist. I've had a lot of success with the Microsoft Band 2. The Blaze is integrated with FitStar, so if you're working out by yourself or ever feel like the need to work out at that very moment, you can. FitStar, from my perspective, is very useful to get yourself out of a workout plateau, especially when you're not seeing any gains after you've been doing the same workout for 7 years. The Blaze doesn't have GPS in the watch, but during a run session, you can use GPS connected, which uses the GPS on your phone to calculate pace and duration. Showing the duration of your run is apparently one of Fitbit's workout experience innovations. Now, before we move out of the sweaty parts of the Blaze, I did notice this. Why do none of the models on the Blaze webpage actually look like they're sweating? Lady running out the stairs, not sweating. I'd be. Guy doing pull-ups, where's the pump? And the only guy that looks like he might be sweating is Lumberjack Clark Kent. And when it comes to sleep tracking, the Blaze doesn't need to be told that you're about to go to sleep, which is pretty awesome. That's pretty revolutionary, right? Fitbit is still missing smart alarms, which is less revolutionary, so you will be very grumpy when the Blaze wakes you up in the middle of a deep sleep REM cycle. There is a feature called Smart Track, which is basically, I forgot to turn on my Fitbit Blaze for a workout session, the Smart Track's going to do it for me. And I was impressed with sleep detection. I was expecting to be impressed with this, and I actually was. I was actually very surprised that this thing worked. Like, really surprised. I was expecting it not to be. During this workout, I tracked it with the Microsoft Band 2 and left the Blaze alone, and the Blaze was smart enough to register that I was exercising, and it actually calculated the amount of working out that I did pretty accurately. The time anyways, heart rate not so much. Now when it comes to everyday life, this device won't provide that much value. There's call notifications, text notifications, and calendar notifications. That's about it. You can answer your phone, and yeah, that's about it. Oh, the nice thing is that the notifications, it's kind of like Android Wear, where you've got just a plethora of them. So if you have lots of call and text notifications, you can actually go through the entire conversation on your Fitbit Blaze. And I will add that emojis are not supported. So if you know somebody who only communicates you via emojis, then this watch is going to work for you. So that's basically it from a fitness standpoint. Great for if you're a runner, not so great if you're a weightlifter, kind of useless for everyday activities, which is why I say that this product is basically a Charge HR with a touchscreen. It's not terribly revolutionary. It's not cheap, but it's cheaper than the Surge. So basically Fitbit just said, hey, there's this price gap here. We're going to put a product right there and we're going to call it the Fitbit Blaze. If this review is useful to you and you're considering getting one of the products that I reviewed, consider going through my website because, well, spending $500 on smartwatches is a big hit on my wallet. If this is the first time you're watching my videos, I do encourage you to click subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. You can find me on Google+, Twitter, as well as Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. I think I said that already. Did you find Monty? He's in that corner. I swore a couple of times in this video because I was getting really frustrated about talking about the Fitbit Blaze, and he kind of freaked out a little bit. He doesn't like it when I'm angry. Thanks for watching.